If the Eagles wanted Jadeveon Clowney, they could have had Jadeveon Clowney. And one guy they might want is Shady McCoy. And to me, there's only one reason why you bring back Shady McCoy, and that is Miles Sanders.
Still the cowboy, Mr. McLean. You Americans are all alike. But this time, John Wayne doesn't walk into the sunset with Grace Kelly.
Scary Cooper, asshole.
Oh shit! Oh shit! That was crazy!
Happy trails, Hans. Dallas still stinks. You're by you, King Ding back here, and I hope everybody's having a great Saturday, a great day. A lot happening. I woke up 8:45 this morning to the news that Jadeveon Clowney was traded to the Seattle Seahawks for a 2020 third-round pick, linebacker Jacob Martin, and edge rusher Barkevious Mingo. Now, I knew this guy was getting traded. That's why I said this back before the draft. I knew this was going to end up in a trade. It was going down that Khalil Mack situation, and I had a feeling he would get traded. I just was hoping it was to the Eagles, who he wanted to play with, apparently, between them or the Seattle Seahawks. Now, here's what I'll say about this. Me personally, I wanted Jadeveon Clowney. I will not back off of that one bit. Okay, one bit. I wanted him. I thought he would have even made us better. But for those Cowboy fans and people laughing at my misery because we didn't get him, I still think the Eagles are the best team in the conference by far. I think we're one of the top 3 teams in the whole league, and we're still the biggest threat to anybody who wants to get the Super Bowl because we are that good. Even if we don't have Jadeveon Clowney, that was a luxury. That would have been like icing on the cake, okay? So we don't get him, and I did want him, and when I look at what the Seattle Seahawks gave for Jadeveon Clowney, all I can say is this: the Eagles wanted him that bad. They could have done it. They could have done it. They could have done it in a way where they didn't give up Big V. They didn't give up Nelson Aguilar. I mean, you look at what Seattle got for Jadeveon Clowney. The Eagles could have done it. They could have, and to be honest, I might have. Because think about this. Let's say Jadeveon Clowney walks next year from Seattle. He doesn't get his money. He leaves Seattle, right? They get that they'll get a third-round compensatory pick for him. They'll get that back in a compensatory pick. So even if he left the Eagles and you had given a third-round pick, you're going to get a compensatory pick for it. So it wouldn't have been that bad. What the Eagles had to give up, I don't know. But every offer that I was throwing out there and all the offers you guys were throwing out there was way more than what the Seattle Seahawks gave. The Eagles, they felt that they didn't need him. They liked the young guys they have. And the only reason we didn't get him wasn't because we were outbid or anything like that. It was the Eagles made a conscious choice. They didn't want him. And I respect that. I respect Howie. I trust the plan, and I will be fine with it. Now, in some other breaking news here, we have Shady McCoy. Shady McCoy, my man. I love Shady McCoy. You all know how much I love Shady McCoy. He gets cut by the Buffalo Bills. And I got to say this. Buffalo Bills, you dingbats, you're stupid, okay? You cut him for nothing, And I said last trade deadline last year when the Eagles were reaching out, inquiring about him, you could have traded him for nothing. You weren't going to the playoffs. You weren't going to a Super Bowl. You were going to have him play a few more games, go in the offseason, and then cut him. You could have traded him, got something for him. That's not good management. I'm sorry. Because the Eagles would have taken Shady McCoy last year had he, at the trade deadline. When we got going, they would have taken Shady McCoy. They would have taken him because we needed a running back. Now we're stocked and locked with running backs. Jordan Howard, Miles Sanders, Darren Sproles, Corey Clement. I mean, we got a lot of running backs. And the chances that Shady would come back are very slim. I know a lot of people would want him back and like him back. But I think that Shady McCoy is going to have opportunity to go somewhere and probably start or get a lot of playing time. Think Kansas City. Andy Reid. He knows Andy Reid. It would make a lot of sense that Shady McCoy ends up in Kansas City. Houston needs a running back. It looks like he would be a perfect fit for Houston. So Shady is going to have opportunities to play, okay? Now, there was worry and fear that he would go to Dallas because of the Ezekiel Elliott holdout. Well, Sounds like that is finally going to get resolved. There's a chance Elliott may be back because they're getting close in negotiations apparently. So I don't think you have to worry about him ending up in Dallas. But Houston or Kansas City are the two places I see Shady McCoy going. Now, if Shady wants to come home, let's say Shady wants to come home and he calls the Eagles, says, look, I just want to come home and play for you guys. I want to come back, be with my man Deshaun. I want to come home. I got to tell you, here's what I would do. Because I would consider getting Shady McCoy. I think I might do it. I think whether he does this or Shady wants to do this or not, I think I would call his agent. I would call him up, claim him off waivers, whatever they have to do, and try to bring him in. Because here's the thing. We have Miles Sanders. And to me, I would love for Shady McCoy to come in a mentor role and mentor Miles Sanders for the whole year. I think that would be great. And here's what I would do, because we're stocked. I think you go to Darren Sproles and you say, hey, Darren Sproles, look, you're what? How old is he? Like 300? Something like that, 30-something years old. Go to Darren Sproles and say, hey, look, man, you've been banged up the last few years. We love you. But we're gonna let you go, and we're gonna bring Shady McCoy in your place. And if you want to go to another team, you can do that. You'll have the freedom to do whatever you want. But you're a little older, and then those kind of things. And we're gonna bring in Shady McCoy, and I would put Shady McCoy in Darren Sproles' spot. Now that would work. Now you would have Howard, Shady, Clement, and Miles Sanders, and that would be brutal. Will this happen? No. I doubt it. I highly doubt this would happen. But that's the only scenario, the only way that I would bring Shady McCoy in is if I could bring him in a way that he would influence and mentor Miles Sanders, much like Brian Westbrook did for him when he came into the league. I would not mind that at all. Okay, and to me, that's the biggest reason why I would love to see Shady McCoy come back. I don't think it's going to happen. Let me repeat that. I don't think it's going to happen. I would love it. From a personal, selfish reason, I have a big problem with how he left. Okay, with Chip Dip Kelly trading him for stinking Kiko Alonso. I didn't like Kiko Alonso when we traded for him. And, God, what a stupid trade that was. Like one of the all-time stupid dingbat trades. If I only had a YouTube channel after that trade, it would have been crazy. This whole wall would have been knocked down because I was not happy about that trade when it happened. But from a personal, selfish standpoint, sure, I would love to see Shady McCoy come back because I love Shady McCoy. But I just don't think it's practical or that it's just not going to happen. I just don't see it happening unless Shady McCoy wants to play for the Eagles and he's okay taking a backup role, maybe, a mentor role, that kind of thing. That would be the only way. And then you got to figure who are the Eagles going to cut. And the only guy I could think of would be Darren Sproles. So I don't see it happening, although, yes, I would love it. I'm not holding my breath. I think he ends up in Kansas City or Houston. Those are the two teams I think that will get Shady McCoy. I think maybe one of those teams, because he got to pass through waivers, right? Or is he veteran and just cut? I'm not sure if because he's a veteran he's just cut and free agent, or he has to clear waivers. So maybe you guys can tell me that. Josh Adams has been cut, and I'm hearing Boston Scott has been cut. Not a surprise. I would have liked to keep Boston Scott. Hopefully he clears waivers and comes back to the practice squad. Josh Adams being cut, I'm not surprised. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if he clears waivers because some teams may look at him and say, hey, look, this was a guy that was the leading rusher for a team last year. Let's claim him off waivers. Who knows? But, yeah, I think the Eagles, pretty much everything they've done so far, to me, has not been a surprise at all. So, we'll see. We'll see what the Eagles have brewing, what they're thinking. I will have more on the roster and what happens, position by position later on today after we get the 53-man cut down. I don't like doing, basically videos every time somebody gets cut when I know it's going to be a bunch of people. I kind of like to wait till the deadline passes, see what we have, and then tomorrow, as they adjust it, we can talk about it then. But I'll have another video later on today talking about the Eagles' 53-man roster and everything that came from that. With that said, take care, talk to you later, and don't be a dingbat.